The biggest mistake people have when working out with shoulder pain is that they don't stretch their lats. And this is my new favorite lat stretch. So you just get yourself onto a set of rings or a ring like this and relax. And if it's too intense for you, go like this. But tight lats are responsible for so much shoulder pain. And so this is my first workout of the day. I do 2 workouts a day, and I'm doing hanging, handstands, flow and mobility work. And just by taking care of a good lat stretch at the start of the workout, you can really alleviate a lot of shoulder pain. Next on the agenda for me is dealing with golfer's elbow. And what I'm doing here is wrapping it extremely tightly with a band for a metabolic flush. So I'm just really forcing all of the blood out of the blood vessels. This is like, I'm wrapping this so tight that it's bordering painful. It's moving out of the realm of discomfort and into the realm of pain. And then you go back down. And so, I start below the elbow, where the golfer's elbow really is. And then I wrap up above the elbow. This is the hardest part when you do it yourself. You've got to tuck it in. Okay, and then you take the joints through full range of motion. So the wrist joint and the bicep, the bicep joint, the elbow joint. And so what I'm doing here is I'm flossing the muscles, flossing the fascia. Oh man. And then when you take it off, all of the blood rushes back into the area, and so you get you get new oxygenated blood in areas of the body that get low circulation, because tendons, which is what golfer's elbow is, it's inflammation to the medial epicondyle tendons of the wrist flexors, and they get low blood circulation. So by doing this, I'm forcing the blood out of the capillaries. It's very intense. Right up above the elbow. Really tight, and really tight on the way back down too. And you can do this for your wrists, for your knees, and for your ankles really well. It's I've never actually tried it on my shoulder. I'm wondering if I should give it a try. It just seems so awkward to do on the shoulder, and I can't imagine how you would get the band on your shoulder by yourself. But let's get this off. Oh, it's tough. Yeah, it seems almost impossible. But Oh, that's painful. Really tough on the skin. Oh, that's brutal. Oh, it's pinching my skin. Woo! You know what? Might be onto something there. Oh, that feels good. Oh, that feels good. So what you just saw is the warm-up to the warm-up. So I've done all my preparation work for my golfer's elbow, my slap tears, my torn rotator cuffs, and then I move into specific workout warm-up. And all my movement workouts always start with hanging. So hanging is a really, really good way to prepare you for things like handstands. When it comes to doing handstands and movement training like that, when you've got shoulder pain, shoulder injuries, golfer's elbow, I think where a lot of people go wrong, this certainly was true for me, is that you just don't do the things that really take care of the injury. The exercises and the stuff that you have to do to take care of injuries is really boring stuff. It doesn't make your muscles bigger. It doesn't make you, it doesn't necessarily push you towards the goals that you want to be working on. But it's really essential, because if you have shoulder pain, if you have golfer's elbow, those things really prevent you from being able to train the way that you want to be able to train for things like handstands. And so besides all of the rehab work and all of the strength work and flexibility work that I've done to overcome slap tears and torn rotator cuffs and golfer's elbow, in the later stages where you have these, it's kind of like you have good days and bad days. Some days you have no pain and some days you do have pain. But just by having exercises and drills like what you just saw me do, having that stuff in your toolbox and being able to pull it out when you need it, it can be the difference between not being able to work out because you're in pain or being able to do a good workout. So it's really, really good. This is really valuable, not just for pull-ups, but also for handstands, because when you do a handstand, you're actively elevating your shoulders really hard. And when you do this, you're depressing your shoulders really hard. So it's the yin and yang, it's the push and pull. Oh, man. I really shouldn't be swinging that much. I think talking through this set, I'm not very focused. And of course, starting with one arm is going to be way too much. Start with two arms. Do one set every day. Hold for 3 seconds. Start with 3 reps. Work your way up to 10 reps. And then go to one arm. This exercise is actually really good for handstands too, because of the shoulder flexion. So I'm actively pulling my shoulders back into shoulder flexion, which is really useful for handstands. And of course, this is not a beginner version of this exercise. I've done a lot of work to be able to do this one up against the wall, but nonetheless, this increased active range of motion for my shoulders has been really, really useful for my hand balancing. All right, now for my handstand practice, and I'm still at a level where I use a wall assisted handstand
for even for a warm-up. So I do a warm-up set here before I go and do my free handstands in a minute. So I'll just do 30 seconds on the wall, really trying to feel that line, warming my body up for the work to come. Alright, and now this is the worst part about this for me. I'm actually doing I'm working on my pancake at the same time in the same workout. So working on hamstring flexibility and compression strength. It's a good time to do some flexibility work in between handstand sets because you've got a long rest period. And I absolutely hate this. Okay. Get my timer up there. So a really good way to develop flexibility is by doing an end range contraction before doing a loaded stretch. And so you do an end range contraction on the hip flexors, which is what you saw me do with those compression lifts, and then you superset with a loaded stretch. So like a loaded pancake like this. And then the thing is that a lot of people struggle with, of course, if you're watching this and you're wanting to learn how to get flexible, it's probably unlikely that you're as flexible as I am, which would mean that you wouldn't be doing the same versions of these exercises that I'm doing. There's lots of progressions and regressions for everything that you do. And just like anything, like any exercise, you need to choose something that's based on your ability level. So, this is where programming comes in, and working with a coach, somebody that can make sure that you're doing the right things for your capability. Oops. Damn. I lost it. Okay. Not bad for a first go. Okay. So I always just start my timer straight away, and I'm only even coming over here to change this so that you guys have got something that's a little bit more interesting to look at when I'm in my rest period. So I start the timer straight away because I only want a 2.5 minute break. I don't want to waste time. Whoops, what am I doing? And then you really got to go straight into it so that you don't go over 2.5 minutes. From the compression strength straight into the loaded pancake or loaded flexibility work. And with loaded work like this, you really pay attention to the eccentric contraction, which is this part here. When you're going down, when the muscle's lengthening. Because the eccentric contraction is when you're building muscle hypertrophy, but you're also doing it through full range of motion. So you're teaching the nervous system that this range of motion is safe to access. So it increases your flexibility, and it does it at the same time whilst it's thickening the muscle fibers and building strength and muscle mass. So that's really, really important. And then at the end, just go to your full range, and then a few contractions. So contracting my quads, get a bit deeper. You know, force it. I'm not forcing anything here. It took me a while to get this flexible, and I know that I'm not nearly as flexible as other people. You can go on YouTube and in 5 minutes you'll find 50 people that are more flexible than me. But I started when I was in my late 30s doing proper flexibility training. I wasn't even close to as flexible as I am now when I started. So I'm pretty happy that I've been able to develop a good level of flexibility, you know, as an adult. And I think it's always, you always want to be careful taking flexibility advice from people in their 20s. If you're older than them, because what works in your 20s does not work in your 40s at all. Oh, come on. Oh, come on, all right. Oh, come on, get it together. These workouts are a lot easier when I don't have to move the camera around. Oh man, I hate compression strength. Oh God. The hard part is to really do it without rocking back and forward, you know, with your body, keeping your body really still. So this will be my last set of compression strength and hamstrings, and I do that mostly because, you know, the accumulated fatigue really builds up, and then the last couple of sets of handstands are pretty tough. So this way I'll do my third set, and then my rest between my third and fourth set, I won't be doing anything. I'll just recover so that my fourth set of handstands is going to be better. And then as soon as I finish this, I'll go upstairs to my balcony and I'm going to do a bit of flow work. Well, I shouldn't say a bit of flow work, I'm going to do a lot of flow work. Big flow session, so hang about for that or skip forward if you want to see it. See how much more flexible I am now after 3 sets? You really want to be aware to not push yourself too hard in your first set, because you'll never be as flexible as you are in your third set. So just take it easy. Allow your body to warm up into the workout, you know? Okay, third set of handstands. Let's see what I can do. Come on. Come on. The journey continues. Okay. This has been one of the hardest flow movements for me to learn by far. When I started, I was hopeless compared to where I am now. I'm still not anywhere near where I should, well, I shouldn't say where I should be, where I want to be with it. But that's okay. That's what the journey is. Oh, I was pretty tired by this stage of the workout. But at least I've got sun on my skin and I'm out in nature. Okay. Come on. Definitely getting better at this one. Takes time, but I can feel myself getting better, so it's good. So much of my past 10 years has been working through injuries and imbalances in my body that have prevented me from being able to train like this. So it's a good feeling to be at a point now where I can even just do the training without hurting myself. That one wasn't good. Oh, I've made a big improvement with that one this week. Very happy with my efforts there. So many years I just haven't been able to do flow without being in pain, and I didn't have time to do 2 workouts a day for forever really, and so flow was something that some weeks I'd do it a few times a week, and then the next week I wouldn't do it at all. And so I just decided for that last year, definitely, and most of the year before as well, I just didn't do any flow work, and I did only a tiny bit of handstands, and I really just doubled down on the strength that was going to help me to be able to train pain-free, and it was time well spent. But now I'm, really bringing this stuff back into my daily practice to try to get better at it. And I'm really happy with my progress. Oh my God. So tired by this stage of the workout. I almost didn't do this one. I was telling myself, I've done enough. Started thinking of all the things that I have to do down in my office downstairs. And then I just really reminded myself of how important volume is. You've just got to get the volume in. You've got to
do the reps. You've got to do your program the way it's prescribed to you with the volume amount to see the progress that we all want to see. And so here I am doing the work. Even though I'm tired. Hope you enjoyed joining me on this workout. I hope you learned something about training with shoulder pain and golfer's elbow for handstands and things like flow. And if you enjoyed this, please subscribe to my channel and check out one of those videos there as well. I do 2 workouts a day. I'll see you in this afternoon's strength and flexibility workout.